What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle Lee, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we are going to be going over none other than a CS deck, which is Cyber Sleuths. So without further ado, let's dive in the video and talk about it. So guys, if you guys don't know, I do make custom Digimon tokens on my Etsy store, which you can find the link right now. We updated Diaboromon from looking like its shabby counterpart, and we also updated our familiar tokens to look pretty cool. So hopefully guys, if you need some tokens, definitely use the link down below for the Etsy link, and hopefully you guys enjoy. So let's get into the deck building part of this deck. First off, we are building none other than CS, which basically is Cyber Sleuth, which again, we got to take a look at what possibilities are we going to be using for. So when effect places the top stack as the bottom Digi-Evolution card, draw a card, trash a card in your hand. But we also have Wanyamon here, which is another great card. When an effect places a trait card in this Digi-Evolution cards, it may Digivolve into a CS trait card in its hand with its Digi-Evolution cost reduced by 1. So this is like, at the end of the day, what happens is you're playing it similar to what Galaxy is doing. So Sunmon. So if you guys don't know, basically whenever you Digivolve something, you get to Digivolve up for reduced cost. So what happens with the combination of this deck is that, you know, in Galaxy you would Digivolve to Rookie, Digivolve into Champion, Digivolve to Champion, gain the memory back because that's how the rookies work, and then basically Digivolve into Sunmon with you Digivolve into Galgamon and basically get a free evolution. So at the end of the day, it's pretty cool how it goes about deck design and stuff like that, but we are definitely playing a 4 of copy Wanyamon. You could play one Moonmon, but to be honest with you, consistency wise, you want to be on your 4 eggs. This deck is not built on the concept of more than 4 eggs. So let's just do CS just to kind of thin out some of the non-valid cards. So let's get into rookies first and talk about it. First off, we do have Palmon. When effect places a Digimon card with SC traits as this Digimon's bottom Digi-Evolution, basically gain a memory. So Palmon plus, I think it's Hagurumon. Nope. So Palmon looks like it's the main one you want to kind of be there. Let's double check on Terrier. So when effect places a Digi-Evolution SOC in this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards, if you have 1 or fewer Tamers, you may play a Tamer with SC trait from your hand without paying its cost, which will be very nice to combo in with some other stuff we're going to be doing. So let's take a look. And then we have Hagurumon. So when effect places a Digimon's card with SOC and its Digi-Evolution cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. And if you notice something very common about these guys is that they all have one same inheritable. By placing this SOC's traits top Digi-Evolution stack as the bottom Digi-Evolution, draw a card. So you'll gain some much needed tempo this way, and it kind of just self-builds itself. I mean, some players might actually play Lunamon in the list, because again, it kind of helps search a little bit. It gives, but the problem comes down to it's Night Fang, Night Claw, Light Fang, traded Digimon's top stack card as this bottom Digi-Evolution, draw a card. Again, it doesn't actually synergize extremely well. What makes this deck probably a little bit more competitive than originally released Galaxy is that it actually has 3 confident rookies that you can work with, 3 confident champions, and that's above what, you know, Galaxy had from the start. And that really brings in some great value. So again, you could do Gargomon plus Togemon. So Toge, one of your Digimon gets plus 3000 DP for the turn. Then if this Digimon stack has 2 or more of the same level, this Digimon gains Raid and Piercing, which is not bad actually, because you can combo off really nice. We'll definitely grab the normal evolutions, Gargomon as well, and then Hagurumon's Goldramon. So one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. If this Digimon stack has 2 or more, Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. So Goldramon will definitely see some play. Now, coming at it, You could use Kuwagamons to spend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then if this Digimon has stacked 2 or more of the same level, one of your opponent's Digimon can't unsuspend until the next turn. And then when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon, gain a memory. So what's really nice about this is probably Gargomon's going to be our big boy. And we can bring down Toge's and stuff like that a little bit just to splash in some of these, you know, might seem useful cards. When trashing the top security stack, we won't play Reprimon. I don't think we're playing Vidramon. No, that one focuses on, you know, Rena. We could play Meramon, though, by paying 2 cost. This Digimon gains Raid and Piercing for the turn, and then this Digimon may attack. That might seem something that we might want to do, but let's double check a few other things. We could try... No, this one's restricted to the top end. It really comes down to where you want to build the deck, right? I don't know if we're going to be playing Diana. Diana top end might be splashable, but I don't know if we're actually going to really go about it, right? I think Diana's, like, Mega is probably the one that we want to use, but let's just take a look. There are some other options, if I remember correctly. The Goldramon, there is... Oh, Golden Nume. So gives one of your opponent's Digimon security attack 1 until the end of the turn. If this has 2 or more of the same, this Digimon may Digivolve into Platinum Nume in your hand for its Digivolution cost of 4, ignoring Digivolution requirements. When the Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon with SOC trait, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. So, you know what? I think being able to snag another reduced cost. So 4, 8... 4, 8, 12, 14 champions seems a little high, right? So we'll go just like this. I think this is a good start because, again, we kind of have Kuwagamon for a little bit of shenanigans, Goldramon, Toge, Gargo, Golden Nume. So kind of all fits into the right color format that we kind of need, right? Now let's see what we're going to do for our ultimate lines. First off, Rise Greymon is probably a must. If your opponent, when Digivolving, if you have 1 or fewer Tamers from your hand without paying its cost, you play 1 red or black Tamer card with play cost 4 or less, or 1 Tamer card with SOC trait. No color restriction. So I think we're going to actually play this because it can lean into some crazy shenanigans for combos, which again, we're going to be probably taking Gaiamon on the reins. So let's just take a look what other SOCs we might want to contend for an ultimate. So Gargomon kind of doesn't do much for the SOCs after this point. Sarasmon might see something. Draw a card, trash a card in your hand. If you have 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers can't suspend until the end of turn. Possibly that. Skullmera by placing 3, though this one's more strictly to our boy Jimmy Ken, but we're definitely playing some Platinum Numes, right? Let's see. Ultimate slot is kind of lacking, right? If I'm looking at this right, Goldramon stops it. Yes, you can skip evolve with Gold Nume, but let's see, Okuamon. So Fortitude on play when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. If this has 2 or more, same level, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon, the lowest DP to the hand. When this, okay, we'll probably be doing this. This will be probably our level 5 lineup. Just Rise and Akua. Probably do this. Just drop it down just a tad bit. And then we got to figure out what SOC megas we're going to use. Well, of course, we're going to be using Kyo's mega. So we're going to definitely be playing Alphamon for its reboot and blocker. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5,000 DP for the turn. And it's not once per turn. So on play when Digivolving, when attacking, all turns when this Digimon suspends, if Kyo is in its Digivolution cards, or if this Digimon stack has 2 or more of the same level cards, it gets plus 3,000 DP until the end of opponent's turn. Then this Digimon unsuspends. So we're definitely going to be playing at least, I think, 3 copies of that. Now this comes down the tricky part, right? Well, definitely taking Gaiamon. So Gaiamon has Raid Reboot. You may unsuspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then this Digimon may attack. And then when an attack target changes, this Digimon gains piercing and plus 5,000 DP. So it does have the trait for SOCs, which is not terrible. Now the question comes down to is we're at 4-3, and we're going to play at least 2 platinums, right? This leaves us with 9 tech spots. So one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 8,000 DP for turn, and when any of your opponent's Digimon are deleted, one of your other Digimon with SOC traits might digivolve into a Digimon card with SC traits in your hand without paying its cost. So yeah, we kind of can get some skip evolutions if we need it with Platinum Nume, which is pretty decent actually. Now, like I said, we could play Diana and maybe play her at a 2. Then that kind of leaves our Tamer lineup a little lacklustering, but we can kind of work with what we got. So I definitely think because we're not really hyper focusing on Sayo's ability, you know, Sayo's ability being able to digivolve from trash for, you know, a reduced cost might see some use, but we're probably, oh my god, there are still a lot of cards we have to work with. Amy, probably Mirai. Yeah, this one's for its on play is pretty decent. We are going to be playing Yuko. So now the problem comes down to is we need to trim some of this fat. There's a lot of Tamers right now. And then we also need to have the detective agency. So probably what we're going to do is go like this and this. Okay. Even then, this makes it tight. Wow. Maybe we go like this. Because again, we want the detective agencies to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 SOC trait among them to your hand, return the rest to the bottom of the deck, then place this card into the battle area, and it's your memory gainer, right? I mean, what we could do is just remove her, bump her up. I mean, yes, one of your opponents, you know, play this when this attack target changes by spending this Tamer for the turn. One of your Digimon effects opponent's Digimon effects do not affect one of your Digimon with Greymon its name or SOC plus 3,000 DP. I think she's pretty decent. Amy is if, you know, when any of your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with SC traits in its Digievolution cards with the same level as the Digievolution cards by spending this Tamer, that Digimon may digivolve into a card with SC traits in your hand without paying its cost. So yeah, we're definitely bumping her up. And I think this is kind of like the lineup we want. Being able to cheat an evolution with Sayo is pretty decent. I mean, the challenge comes down to there's not enough space for everything we want to do. So 2, 4, 8, 13. Ultimates are 4, 2. Megas are 3, 3s. And then we do have, you know, deck, you know, agency. Now, do we want to play this? You know, all SOC traits, SC traits get plus 2,000 DP. Cyber Eden, it's a good card, don't get me wrong, but our space is so tight. What we could do is knock down some of these rookies just a tad bit. Now this opens up 2 slots, which leads us to actually playing this. Is Yu-Gi-Oh actually worth it? Any of your Digimon or Tamers with SOC would be played by returning this Tamer to the bottom of the deck, reduce the play cost by 2. Yu-Gi-Oh is decent enough because it is a searcher, but I think this is how we're going to start off the build. It's not too crazy. It's not too over the top. We could easily just go, you know, 2 and then bump up. I don't want to go too crazy here. I don't want to lose out on certain Tamers. 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 2. Like, I really don't want to give this up. That's the problem, right? There's just so much good going on. We have one tech slot left, and this should never be more than 2. I think we're just gonna go 3 Kyo, 3 Alpha, because Kyo is our mem setter. Sayo is not. It's a gain thing. Ami is basically in here to cheat evolve, and Yuko is to help protect. So I think that's pretty decent across the board for even just a starting list for a lot of players just to test out. Is this the perfect list? Probably not. Someone else is going to design the deck a lot better than I can, and then we get something better. You know, Royal Knights aren't really going to do much for Lord Nightmon here. Diaboromon might be an SC, but it's not really going to do much because, yeah, it's just not really in it for winnings. Leopardmon, no. Maybe Quintoris, no, because I want to build a Pacific deck that runs around a specific deck that is around Quintoris. But all in all, I think this is a good starting point for a lot of players because, again, you never know how you want to build a deck until you're ready for it. So I think this is a really good starting point. Let me know what you guys are planning down in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.